The delivery boy's birthday. The 15-year-old Leo's job was simple, delivering parcels and letters to the people of his town. Every morning he would pick up his bag, hop on the bicycle, and start out to deliver the parcels. But today was different. Today was his birthday. But he didn't have many expectations. His parents ran a cafe and they were busy with their regular work, so there wouldn't be any huge celebration. And he thought all his friends have forgotten. But he didn't mind. Delivering packages was something he loved. He found joy in making sure that people received what they were expecting. As he pedaled through the town, he passed familiar faces and delivered parcels to homes, stores, and businesses. He didn't mind the routine, but today he couldn't shake off the feeling of being alone. He didn't want any big party or gifts, but he just wished that someone would acknowledge that it was his special day. His last stop was at Mrs. Emma's house. She was an elderly woman who lived in the outskirts of the town in a small cottage. Leo had delivered packages to her for months and they always exchanged friendly greetings. "Good afternoon, Mrs. Emma," Leo called out as he was ready to hand over a parcel to her. Mrs. Emma opened the door and smiled. She said, "Oh, Leo, you're here. You are just in time." "Just doing my job, Mrs. Emma," Leo said. "You're working on your birthday, aren't you?" Mrs. Emma said. Leo was taken aback. "Ah, yes, but it's no big deal," he said. "Of course, it's a big deal, young boy," she said. "We should never let anyone work on their birthdays without a little something special." Before Leo could say anything, she invited him inside. Come in, my little boy. I have something for you. I have baked a small cake and there is something special for you." Leo hesitated, but then he stepped inside, and the room was filled with the smell of freshly baked cake. In the middle of the room, there was a small and beautiful cake that Mrs. Emma baked for Leo. "I'm sorry, Leo, I don't have much, but I wanted to make you feel appreciated today. You always made sure to deliver my parcels on time. You were always kind and smiling, and you totally deserve to be celebrated. Here's a special gift for you." Leo was speechless. No one had ever made him feel so seen on his birthday. "I don't know what to say, Mrs. Emma," he said. "You don't need to say anything," Mrs. Emma said. "Everyone deserves to feel important." And then Leo opened the present to find a beautifully carved wooden bicycle. It was simple yet so thoughtful. He felt an instant connection with it because his bicycle was his prized possession. "Thank you so much, Mrs. Emma. You really didn't have to do this," he said. "I wanted you to know that people see you, Leo. Your hard work doesn't go unnoticed. You are special." And that day, Leo left Mrs. Emma's house with a heart full of gratitude. He realized that birthdays didn't have to be about big parties or grand presents. Sometimes, knowing that people cared for you and the small acts of kindness that people do for you are all that you need. Having such people in your life is the greatest blessing. And then Leo went back to his home happily, where his mom and dad were waiting for him. And then he had a beautiful little celebration with his family. This story helps us to understand that even the small acts of kindness can sometimes bring immense joy. It is often the simplest gestures that make lasting impacts.